here, just a few real generalizations here. They're strong-willed. As I always say, if there's a brick wall, they'd rather keep going into it rather than simply just going around it. And if you've ever seen those rams butting horns, that's gotta give you a headache. They're very active, energetic, impulsive, and have great qualities of leadership. As you remember, it's the sign of the adventurer and pioneer. Our first sign here, the sign of Aries. Next we have the sign of Taurus, the bull, as you remember, the second sign in the zodiac, the element of earth, the service sign. As we go down the body, you'll see that the Aries, which I left out, but the Aries rules the head. And next, Taurus rules the neck, and that makes sense when you think about the bull and the yoke of the builder and producer here. The second house having to do with your own finances, money, and possessions. It also can be a very possessive sign, as well as a practical one. Stubborn, of course. As you remember, if you think about the bull itself, besides its horns and its muscularity, what are the things that bulls do? Well, they are out in the pasture. They obviously are, used for stud. And I always say they like to do three things, which are basically sleep, eat, and, we're on TV. They're very determined. Sensuous as well. They're ruled by Venus, which I did not write down here, but Venus is the ruling planet, having a lot to do with music and love and art. And we have Taurus, the bull, here. Next we have the third sign, as you remember, Gemini, the twins. It's an air sign having to do with the intellect. The part of the body it rules are the hands and the arms, and that makes sense for the artist and inventor that says, I think. The third house, of course, has to do with communications, brethren, short journeys. It's ruled by Mercury, the messenger of the gods, or Hermes, as you remember. It's a mutable sign. We'll talk more about that. Aries was a cardinal sign. It began the spring. Taurus, the fixed sign, and this being the mutable air sign. When you say that, there's only one mutable, and that has to do with the changing part of the season as well as a changing type of nature. The general traits, and these are vast generalizations, they're very creative, talkative, some use the word chatterbox, artistic, sociable. Gemini is our third sign. Next we have the fourth sign, Cancer, the crab. As we get into the symbols, the crab, of course, has a very hard shell. I can't explain the walking sideways, but some people say that that's to protect them because they're very sensitive, emotional, can be very moody, and can be intolerant, as well as extremely caring, oversensitive, over-emotional. It's a water sign having to do with emotions. It's the cardinal water sign, meaning it begins its season. And the fourth house, of course, has to do with the home and mother, and that's why we see that it rules as we go down. Aries, the head; Taurus, the neck; Gemini, the arms; Cancer rules the breasts, or breast. And, of course, it says, I feel. Ruled by the planet, the moon. Here we have another sign that's ruled by just one planet, Cancer, the crab. Next in our signs of the zodiac, getting a little bit more into detail, as we will in these final lessons, if you will, on Let's Learn About Astrology. You're watching GCTV, Channel 6 in Greenfield. My name is Sammy. Thanks for joining us here. Our next sign is the fifth sign, Leo, which you can see the symbol looks kind of like a lion's mane. It's a fire sign having to do with ego. It's a fixed sign, meaning born in the middle of its season, which is summer, and that could mean some pretty strong opinions or opinionated. It's ruled by the sun, which of course we all know is the center of the universe, and maybe that's how they would like to be treated. It's a sign of the lion. As you know, the lion sleeps about 16 hours of its day, and you think about the beast itself. And this sign says, I will, but I make a joke. I will, I will. It's the sign of the king or president. We've had some pretty famous people like Mussolini and